Hey growing family, I'm Melissa Ivy, aka the Musical Doula. I've been a doula for over 10 years and I've assisted in 23 births to date at the time of making this video. Today you can expect to face some of the fears you may have about your birth or delivery. I'll provide an easy outline for you to understand what a birth plan is, and by the end we'll have our labor bag and checklist. What you need right now is just a pen and paper and an open mind. I'll provide the links and the material at the end of this video. So let's get started. First, we're going to do our simple list. First, just in our minds before we write anything down. So you may want to close your eyes if you like for the next minute, just to visualize. Take a moment and ask yourself, or share with your laborer support, the following questions. What are your current fears or concerns around birth? Do you feel prepared with tools to overcome those concerns or fears? What have you seen, heard, or read about birth? What do you want your birth to feel like, emotionally, physically, or spiritually, perhaps? Okay, come back and open your eyes if they were closed. Now, every birth is different. So maybe you've seen those scenes in a movie with a woman or a human, and she's dealing with her labor pains or lack of coping skills, yelling in pain, and everyone in the room is freaking out. I can tell you, in my 23 births, I've never seen that in real life. So I want you to think about what you have actually experienced about birth. What have you actually heard? What have you seen? Now take out your pen and pencil and trust yourself to fill out the top 3 fears in one side of column A of the paper. I'll give you a moment to do this. Okay, so maybe you saw the movie or a TV show or heard something about a friend's birth, and that helped contribute to some of these fears. So now that you've identified some of your fears, we can brainstorm together how to overcome them. So just for a moment, take another deep breath, maybe eyes closed if you prefer, and imagine 3 different ways to ease those fears. Once again, I'll give you a moment to fill out column 2 with some solutions available to you, or you may need to seek within your community. You are about to enter a new chapter of your life. This passage into being a parent of a human, the experience is one that you will never forget emotionally, spiritually, and yes, physically. With this passage comes empowerment. So just for a moment, imagine that you are the master storyteller of your birth. You are holding the book and the pen, and you have the ability to create your birth story. Trust that your body was made for this journey and that you're not alone in any of your experiences or concerns. So always please ask your support team for questions or to clarify anything. Just be sure to check with your doctor, midwife, or medical staff at any time. So there are 4 main things along the timeline of your pregnancy that you may want to think about. First thing at the timeline is how far along in your pregnancy are you? And how has your body felt so far? Do you want to take prenatal vitamins or possibly some supplements? Do you need to change your eating habits or maybe talk with a nutritionalist? Second, labor. What does that look like for you? Where would you like to be? What are some of your coping mechanisms that you may need assistance practicing with before the big labor and marathon begins? And once a delivery happens, Is that a home or a hospital? Is that in a birthing center? Fourth, the moment that I feel like is one of the most important, the golden hour after baby arrives. Do you want immediate skin to skin? Would you like to breastfeed or need assistance trying with a lactation consultant? Which designated family members are allowed in the room? Who's not allowed in the room? Very important. Would you like to save the placenta for a family ritual or encapsulation? So these are 4 times in your timeline that you may want to start thinking about. If you'd like to write this down, once again, the timeline is pregnancy, labor, delivery, and newborn. So as I promised, I want to talk about our labor bag checklist. One of the first things that you're going to do is quickly preview this document I've created for you. Check it out. You're going to see it's quite easy for you to just go in and check off what's in your labor bag checklist. You may want things you hadn't thought about, like your lip moisturizer, some snacks. You may need eyeglasses. You may want certain music, LED candle, or just some basic toiletries that are better than the hospitals. It's going to be really easy for you to just go ahead and jump in, check those off. I've left a little spot for notes just in case you have some more specific items. There's also a partner's checklist. So there's an area for your partner or your support to go ahead and check off their items that they'd like directions, map to the hospital or the birthing center. If they're going to be filming with a phone or camera, make sure that the memory card, the batteries are charged. If you want to take photos, bring an extra phone charger. Water for your partner, as it's a marathon for them too. You may want your laboring props, little cash money for parking or the vending machines, mints, gum for fresh breath. Now we don't want to have no dragon's breath up in the labor room. Nobody needs that. For the laboring partner, just start real simple by grabbing your nightgown, PJs, having a nursing bra or breast pads. Then celebrate. Some hospitals or birthing centers will have maternity underwear or extra toiletries, but maybe pack your toothbrush, your hairbrush, some mouthwash. And be sure to bring some loose-fitting clothes or even some chanclas, as I like to call my house slippers. Now for baby, make sure you got a car seat, plus the going home outfit, which is always one of my favorite things to help pick out. Usually the tiniest little onesie is the easiest, and also a receiving blanket. Some parents choose to have socks or booties. Sometimes the little ones, right when they come out, they have really, really sharp fingernails. So if you have little gloves and mittens for them, especially during the winter time, it can be helpful. Sometimes the hospitals will give you those baby nail clippers and recommendations for those tiny little precious, very sharp fingernails. And then we're going to add some little notes to our baby books that you may want to bring to the hospital or have family kind of fill out some things for you. That can be fun. So you can use this list, modify it, fit it to your birth plan. Take a screenshot or simply fill it out. You can even add it underneath your list of fears if you'd like. I hope this helps organize things for you and your team when packing your birth bag. So let's talk about the birth plan. When I talk about birth plans, I'm really thinking of these as birth preferences. So you may want to choose to review your birth plan. Once you have it, go to sleep on it before making any huge choices. I've had families that a week or a month or even a day before the labor, they change their birth plans, and that's totally okay. So I'm going to repeat that. It's totally okay to change your birth plan. So be empowered to know your options and have the birth that you're called to, even if it means changing at the last minute. If you plan on a hospital birth, but you're really called to do a home birth, that's great. Reach out for help. We can discuss those options together. And with your support staff, I feel confident in your instincts. While also remaining flexible, I encourage you to create backup plans. For instance, if you plan on laboring at home, but you feel like you need to go to the hospital, create a backup plan for what that looks like. So, who's driving? Who's calling other people to meet you at the hospital? What does it look like when you get to the hospital? Do you want to request a midwife? You can request your doula at the hospital as well. Maybe you want them to remain with you. So create a couple of backup plans. Also, if you do end up having a cesarean, make sure that you're well prepared if it's not your first choice. So we can talk about that with your doctor, midwife, and your doula. Your birth support staff is here to help consult you. We can help guide some of these questions that you may be coming up with, even right now. And ultimately, once again, you are the master storyteller, and this is your birth. So we'll help you make informed decisions. But these are your empowered decisions to make for your growing family. Thank you so much for spending some time with the musical doula, Melissa Ivy, to unpack some of your fears, imagine your birth story, and review your timeline. I hope this short video assisted you in creating your birth plan or birth preferences. I hope right now you're feeling empowered, and know that I am here in service for any of your direct questions or for a free consultation to be your doula. Lastly, my musical doula tip. When you pack, make a playlist for yourself with songs that give you joy or make you smile. Songs from your childhood or family memories shared. Music is a great way to cope during labor, and the songs in general tend to have a deeper meaning when you can share them with your growing family. Know what you desire, trust your team, and trust in your abilities. I encourage you to create a plan, pack your bag, and celebrate. Thank you so much. I'm the musical doula. Follow me for more tips and tricks on birth planning, doula, birth assistance at melissaivy.com.